Welcome to Malta for qualifying heat 4 of World's Strongest Man 2009. In the last heat, there were no great surprises. Mariusz Pudzianowski and Phil Pfister both making it through to the final. This one, however, could be a much tougher call. Poundstone, Jean, Shaw, Savickas, Pfister and Pudzianowski. The lineup for the 2009 final reads like a who's who of strongman. 6 men will now battle to earn the right to face the very best in the world. Englishman Laurence Shahlaei will be looking to make up for the disappointment of last year when he missed out on a place in the final on his debut. He certainly won't be lacking for any support down at the first event. Here's Zoe.
Thanks, Martin. So Laurence is about to go, and you guys are all here to lend him lots of support. Big cheers for the fellow English people.
Yay, can't wait.
So are you a fan of the World's Strongest Man?
Not too much, but it was a toss-up between Cyprus and Malta, and we heard the World's Strongest Man was at Malta, so we're here in Malta to support them.
Now, it's funny, because you're saying not too much, but actually that's not really true, because really you are. The husband's a massive fan.
Yes, yeah, I am, yeah. We weren't coming away, but when it was introduced that they were going to be in Malta, then we said we'd come and have a look. I've always wanted to come and see it, so we're here to support.
And what about George? Are you possibly a strong man of the future?
Say yes.
Oh, he's going to think about it, okay.
Well, there we have the course all laid out for this very first event, the medley. And the time limit 75 seconds. The course is 25 metres long, and they've got to drag the anchor and the chain at 335 kilograms and carry the 2 kegs as well. That's what faces Laurence Shahlaei of England, comes from Gloucester. Second World's Strongest Man appearance. Agris Kazelnik's first World's Strongest Man appearance for him. And the former rugby player Etienne Smit of South Africa. Huge guy. Good athlete as well.
Take position!
Here we go. And this has got to be a good start for Laurence. Not only would it bring in good points, but it would increase his confidence hugely, Colin.
He's up against a couple of very strong men here, so this will really give us an idea what kind of shape Laurence Shahlaei has turned up in, and he's good. He's in the lead by some margin, and did you see Kazelnik's had a real problem getting the barrel up there?
He's absolutely flying. That is a brilliant time. 23.84 for Laurence. What a great start by the Englishman.
Look at Kazelnik's. Oh, he made a big mistake. He ran straight into the platform with the barrel. It smashed the platform back, and that's cost Kazelnik's quite a lot. Look, 33.85 back in third position in what is a bit of a sprint event.
Good result for Etienne Smit, 25.58. But it is this fella who leads. What a great start.
Tremendous from Shahlaei.
Oh, Laurence, the medley's always been a good one for you, and wow, you really proved it there today. Very impressive. You must be so happy.
Yeah, I think probably all tell I'm quite happy with that. Just had to, it's quite a short medley, so you have to be so fast and almost risk making a mistake. I just put 100% into that. Luckily it paid off. Still 3 very good guys to go in the group, but it's a good time. Hopefully some of them will struggle to beat it.
You must be feeling fairly confident now, though.
They're going to have to go quick to beat it, but these guys just keep getting better and better every year. I'm in way better shape than I was last year, but so is everyone else, so you just don't know. But hopefully that'll get me off to a good start for the competition.
In lane 1, from the USA, Travis Ortmeyer.
Well, Laurence, absolutely right. There are some good guys to come. Travis Ortmeyer is one of them.
From Norway, Richard Skog.
The giant Richard Skog of Norway, 6'5", 346 pounds. Every inch an athlete. And the new superstar from Sweden, Johannes Arhu. Not as big as Richard Skog, but this guy can move.
Take your position!
Just to remind you, 23.84 was Laurence Shahlai's time. Can that hold up to take victory in this first event?
Well, you know, I've got Ortmeyer down as the favourite here. He was 5th at World's Strongest Man last year, but look at Johannes Arho, only 24, and he's taken away a lot of experience from last year's Worlds, and he's going to go into the lead here, or does he?
It's very, very close. We'll have to let the judges see what happens. Johannes Alhu, though, does take the lead ahead of Lawrence. 22.09, definitely number one. And Travis Ortmeyer in third place, the Texas Stoneman, 24.15. Richard Skog, a disappointing start for the Norwegian, 25.03.
25.03, that's a great time, but this is a tough heat. Some real athletes here. Arho just managing to beat Ortmeyer, but Ortmeyer gets beaten by Charlet.
Johannes, great stuff out there, incredibly fast. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I was hoping to do really well in this because I knew I had to do good in this to have a shot in the final, so I'm very pleased with doing well in this, yeah.
And you look in fantastic shape this year. Have you learnt a lot from your experience last year?
I did. I increased my strength overall, and to have a little bit more routine helps a lot more than you think, so it's a good combination, I think, for this year.
And how are you feeling now about the rest of the competition?
I definitely have a good shot on the final, and that's where I want to go. Everything can happen. This is the toughest year ever in World's Strongest Man, but I think I have a good chance.
Arho takes the win, but what a great start for the man from Stroud. Charlet has really got everybody's attention now in Malta. Ortmeyer, the American, must settle for third. Well done, Lawrence, but the big surprise remains the American, Ortmeyer. One of the favourites for the title is struggling, but expect things to change after the break. Welcome back to World's Strongest Man 2009. Before the break, we saw England's Lawrence Charlet take a very impressive second place in the medley. Let's head down to the second event. Your commentators, Colin Bryce, and first, Paul Dickinson.
Thanks, Martin. Well, this is what lies in wait for our strong men, this 20-ton truck. They've got to pull it down a course of 25 metres. The maximum time limit allowable is 75 seconds. An absolutely lung-bursting event, and Etienne Smit was the first down the course. He finished it in 62.5. Agris Kazelnik's next, of Latvia. Finished in sixth place after the first event. A disappointing start for him.
Are you ready? Ready? Yes?
Away we go. Squeezing on the rope, driving with the legs. And this has got to be smooth, it's got to be technically proficient, and of course you've got to be massively strong too.
A look in the background, catching some rays, is Big Ray Bergmanis, former Latvian strongman, former podium finisher at Worlds, and this is his new protege. He'll be hoping he does well here. Bergmanis was telling me, though, before this, that he doesn't really get as aggressive as he wants him to be. So he's got to turn it on here, Kaselnik. This is his big shot.
Look at Bergmanis on the far side there, chasing after his protege, making steady progress, could well finish inside the minute. Bergmanis shouting and screaming over the finish line, and this fella's got to keep driving on. The front of the lorry has got to go over the line, gets it, there it is. It finishes there in 56.88. That is a very decent time indeed.
Well, you would expect Kaselnik to do well at this. He's got plenty of body weight. Well, Raymond's is happy. Under a minute, he's going to take the lead with that time, but we've seen this is the only event that goes across all the heats. We've seen times in other heats going under 50 seconds, so I'm not sure if it's going to win the heat, but it's a good time.
From Norway, Richard Skog!
Well, Richard Skog of Norway said in the introduction he was every inch an athlete. A massive guy, but there's not an ounce of spare flesh on him. And body weight is an issue here. Took a little slip there. Disappointing for the Norwegian. But this guy could be special.
He's very special. A former soldier, a former special services soldier. He used to run around with a backpack at 125 kilos, he told me. That was at his absolute fittest. He's bulked up a bit since then. Now over 150 kilos. That's getting over 320 pounds. He's a monstrous big man. He really is at 6'5", and he's using his body weight well here. This is a good pull, Paul, despite that slip.
It certainly is. It's very smooth, and that counts for a lot. His arms working in unison with his legs, which are still driving on. This is very quick. That is a good time, 46.75, and Richard Skog has got a big, big lead already.
Isn't it good to see a Norwegian back on top again? Not since Sven Karlsen have we seen a really great Norwegian, the 2001 World's Strongest Man. And Sven's here as well, watching, cheering on. If he hadn't made that mistake, I reckon he'd have been at least a couple of seconds faster.
The United States of America, it's Travis Ortmeier.
Well, the USA always produce very impressive strong men. Travis Ortmeier, I wonder what his credentials are for this event. He's squatting low down. Most of the guys here are wearing these boots which are normally seen on mountainsides for grip, but Travis Ortmeier there having a slip after just a couple of meters. That was bad news for him.
But he's starting to get his act together now, Paul. And you know, we can almost claim him as British. Wife Lucy from the UK. Ooh, another stumble there, though. This isn't picture perfect for Ortmeier, but he's got it moving. The momentum is looking good.
Not as good as Richard Skog's was, though. The Norwegian was very smooth, and his momentum, well, it just got better and better as time goes on. Now Ortmeier is beginning to motor. This is better from the American. He certainly didn't start off well, but he's finishing very strongly indeed, outside of the time set by the Norwegian. There it is. 49.13 goes into second place. Wow. Litres of oxygen being used up there.
You know, I think it's worth saying as well, though, Ortmeier coming over on the plane came down with a bit of a cold, quite a bad head cold, and he's struggling for fitness here. He's really gasping for oxygen in any of the fitness-based events. Doesn't make it easy.
Lawrence Charley, he's up next. Started off well, but I wonder what he thinks about this event.
Last year, got a stupid injury, dislocated my toe pulling the truck. It wasn't pleasant, I felt it go straight away, right at the start. And obviously, when you're in a competition like this, you try and block out pain and just keep going. One thing it's probably taught me is to be a little bit more careful with warming up. When I was probably younger and just first started, I just jumped straight into these stupidly heavy events that we do and not even think about my body. Now, I kind of need to concentrate on warming up, making sure I'm ready for these events, because these things we do are stupid, you know? We're all a bit stupid, the guys that do this, but it's not something you're going to just be able to just jump out of your sofa and have a go at. You need to practice them, warm up definitely. You've got to progress through the weights, and this year a little bit more preparation beforehand, and I'll be okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England, Lawrence Charley.
Lawrence looking totally psyched up for this one. It was a cracking time that was set by Richard Skog of Norway, 46.75. And unlike Richard Skog, and I guess one or two of the other guys as well, this guy doesn't look a strong man. He's certainly big, but the muscles aren't there for everybody to see. But I'll tell you what, he's so powerful.
Yeah, it's very true. Looks can be deceiving, though. He packs a lot of power, Charley, especially around the hips and around the legs. And he's using it well, utilising that power.
He certainly is, using that rope in front of him quite usefully as well. Driving with the legs, and these are quite big steps in comparison to some of the other guys. He really is motoring now. Remember, 46.75 to beat. He's getting close.
Well, this is starting to test his fitness now, the last few metres. It's going well, though, Paul.
He's going to get it, surely. Yes, he does. He's in first place, and that is another very fine performance. Woo! Oh, yes. 45.42. He is the current leader.
Well, no one tipped Lawrence Charley to do this well in the first couple of events. I think he'd be very pleased with his performance.
Lawrence, 45-42, you are the new leader of the group. How does that feel?
That feels very good. I didn't expect that on this event, because this is a real big man event, and I'm a little bit lighter than some of the guys in my group. But after last year, dislocating my toe on the truck pull, I've been practicing it a lot this year, so hopefully that paid off a bit.
Well, it certainly has. How are the toes feeling now?
Absolutely fine. Legs are a bit wobbly though.
I'm not surprised. Johannes Aarhu next, the last competitor who can prevent the Englishman from winning an event here in World's Strongest Man.
Pick up rope.
Beautiful view out over the harbour.
Take the straight. Yeah. Ready?
And that is the view the driver of the truck has of the strongman in front of him. Now, Johannes Aarhus is every inch the athlete, rather like Richard Skog, but it's Lawrence Charley of England who's in the lead at the moment.
Aarhus has spent his summer up in Scotland doing the Highland Games this year. You're right, he's a very good athlete, throwing cabers, shot puts, hammers. He'll try his hand at just about anything. Oh, slipping there though, Paul.
Yes, he's not making as good a progress as Lawrence did a few moments ago, and I think the Englishman is going to win his first event in this year's World's Strongest Man. He's wobbling all over the place here.
And not a time to have your shoelace come undone either. That's not helping his cause.
Struggles over the line. I don't think he's going to make second or third place at this rate. He's absolutely exhausted and finishes there well out of it, 56.32, and that only gives the Swede fourth place. Staggering at the end there. That took a huge amount out of him.
Lawrence Charley continues to impress here in Malta. First place, 6 points, and all toes intact. What a performance. Ortmeyer again in third in an event he usually loves. It's the Englishman at the top of the table after 2 events, but he'll know there's a long way to go. Kazelniks and Schmidt are looking a little out of their depth at the moment. Now can Lawrence Charley keep up the good work in the event he loves? It's a classic World's Strongest Man event and one of the core tests of strength. Here are Paul Dickinson and Colin Bryce with the details.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. There is the time limit, 75 seconds. 7 lifts in total to score big. Lawrence Charley, well, he's been looking forward to this one. I wonder how he feels.
So, Lawrence, you're leading in the group so far. Could you ever dreamt it would have went this well for you?
No, it's been a really good start for me. Obviously, with a lot of strong guys in my group. If someone told me beforehand after the first day I'd be in the lead, I would have taken that. So it's a good start, but there's still 4 more events to go, and I want to keep it going. I really want to make the final this year.
But this squat event is a good one for you because last year, of course, you won in the group, so you must be feeling pretty confident. How's the training been going this year?
Yeah, squat event's usually a good event for me. Unfortunately, I tore some muscle fibres in my quad a couple of months ago in a competition, so I haven't squatted that much prior to this. But my legs usually are pretty strong, so I'm hoping they'll bail me out this time.
Well, Travis Ortmeyer, he got things going. His legs didn't let him down, but his squat suit did. It ripped on the second repetition, and the American didn't manage any more. So Travis bitterly disappointed. And 2 repetitions in that sort of time won't score big points, but Kazelniks might. He leads the way, 6 repetitions in 32.27.
Ladies and gentlemen, from South Africa.
So here we go. A chance to take a close look now at Etienne Smit of South Africa, the former rugby player. South Africa's strongest man, and South Africa have always had a great reputation in World's Strongest Man competition. Just wonder if this guy can carry the flag.
Squat!
Here we go, the first of 7 reps maximum. And this is a hard event.
Good spot! He looked a bit uncomfortable in that first rep. He was really trying to find the depth. Now he's got it. He's decided just to slam it down and come up, fire it up as quick as possible. The slow technique doesn't work, especially considering the clock is going here. You have to try and squat as fast as possible. Here comes number 6. He's equalled Kazelniks. He's got 1 more to do.
Well, he's actually gone ahead of Kazelniks in terms of time.
He doesn't want it though, Paul.
No, that 7th barrel proving too much. So there is our current leader, 27.48, but nobody yet has completed the test in full.
Well, that second last rep ground it out. You can see his back starting to bend. He knew he'd maxed out.
Johannes Aarhus.
Johannes Aarhus of Sweden, 2nd place overall behind Lawrence Charley. And absolutely beautiful conditions here for the spectators and the competitors too. Tell you what,
when you're ready.
What about his belt?
I don't know, it's about 6 inches higher than I've ever seen a belt before. But it might just work for him. Oh, yeah, that was quick. Touched the ground, back up again. Very fast.
Good squat.
And eventually they're going to be squatting with a bar
Good squat.
and the contraption behind them at a weight of over 700 pounds. And that is awesome. Just look at the size of his quadriceps, his legs. They're absolutely massive.
He really wants to get through to the final this year, Paul, and this is the kind of event he can do well in. He's been living in the shadow of Magnus Samuelsson for so long now, the #1 Swede for a decade. He says racket, he's had enough. He's done the 6th one as well, but he's not going to do the 7th.
No, a little bit of disappointment there for Arhu, 36.65, and he's only in 3rd place. That is a big surprise.
Well, here he is going for the 5th rep. It was already a bit of a fight to get 5, and then for 6. Look at the pressure.
Well, nobody has managed to do 7 lifts so far. Lawrence Charley of England, he gets his chance now. His knees very, very tightly wrapped.
Rack out. Squat. Good squat.
That was quick. Now, he said he hasn't been doing much squatting. I tell you what, there's no evidence of that on this form.
He won his group last year. Charley squatted every single weight, but it must be noted that it's 10 kilos a lift heavier for every single lift this year.
He's going well. This is quick, it's decisive, and it's very strong. Now, can he do number 7? If he does get it, he goes into an automatic lead. Come on, Lawrence, do it for England, do it for Gloucester. He's got it. That was a superb performance once more. And there is our leader.
These are the strongest legs right here. I think I remember Bill Kasbar once shouting that one. Here he is on the last rep. The second last one looked hard. That one was impossibly hard. But he did it.
Lawrence, what a performance, what a reaction from the crowd. You must be feeling absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah, it always helps if the crowd make a lot of support for us guys. That was very heavy this year. And I think some of these guys helped me get through that. I just kept thinking about my little baby girl back home. She's 4 months old. Unfortunately, she couldn't be out here with her mum. But they'll be watching on telly, and that was for her.
Charley takes top spot again and is beginning to look very assured here in Malta. Etienne Smit delivers a world-class performance when he most needed it, but once again Travis Ortmeyer disappoints. Charley looks to be cruising into the final and is now 5 points clear after 3 events. Arjo leads the chasing pack, but Etienne Smit's 2nd place in the squad has thrown things wide open. Mainly because some big-name players are not on their game at the moment. Ortmeyer and Skog have disappointed, but Lawrence Charley looks in total control. Welcome back to Malta, where England's Lawrence Charley is putting in a big performance and looks set to make it through to his first ever final. But standing in his way is the heaviest event of this year's Strongest Man. It's the car walk.
The course is ready, the car is ready, and our strong men have got to carry it all the way down. Balance is so important, as well as super strength. The maximum time limit, 75 seconds, the course 25 metres long, and the car itself, well, that weighs in at over 900 pounds. Agris Kazelniks of Latvia, he's already had his turn, 25.63 the time.
South Africa, Etienne Smit.
Etienne Smit, normally used to pushing in a scrum in rugby. This will be totally alien to the South African. Here we go. Off to a pretty good start.
He's certainly got plenty of body mass, plenty of core strength. Look at the eyes, Paul. Focused on the target at the end here. He's not rocking around a lot either. This is a very smooth run at the moment.
Well, we have seen some times of around about 20 seconds in this in practice, and that is 22.66. Very useful indeed, and Etienne Smit is now beginning to make his mark on this competition.
Well, the South African had some injuries coming into this contest. I was a little bit worried he'd hold together, but he's doing very well. Look at the focus.
Ladies and gentlemen, from England, Lawrence Charley.
Well, to some people, the fact that Lawrence Charley is leading may be a bit of a surprise.
Ready?
Not a surprise to us, though. Now, come on, Lawrence. One good performance here may even seal your place in the final. He's been that good so far.
Well, he's chosen a very high pickup. He's lifted that at least a foot, if not a foot and a half off the ground. He doesn't want to make contact with the ground, and that's very sensible from Charlet.
This is a good time. Yes, it is. He goes into the lead, 21.87. That is first place, and if he stays in first place, I do think he'll make it through to the final already.
Well, Lawrence did all the hard work at the beginning. By choosing a high pickup, it then made the run all the easier. 21 seconds, that's very fast.
It's phenomenal.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sweden, Johannes Arhu.
Johannes Arhu. I expected better things of this fella, but he is in second place after all, so in a qualifying position at the moment. But once again, it gives me great delight to say it's Lawrence Charlet of England who's in the lead at the moment.
Well, let's not forget, this man won the first event, the medley. So we've already seen in athletic running movements, he's very good. I know this isn't running, but it is an athletic movement. One leg after the other, trying to go as fast as you can. Oh, he's slowing up. The first 10 meters was good. He's just looking a little tired now, isn't he?
He's just rocking and rolling a little bit. And this is not going to be a quick time for the Swede. There he is, over the line. And indeed, the clock stops at 34.41. Once again, disappointment for Johannes Arhu of Sweden.
You know, Paul, I think it's a fair comment as well that he's not just up against the weights and these tough competitors. This is nearly 40-degree heat. He's not used to this kind of temperature, and it's draining on him.
Certainly is, Colin. That was hard. Well, it's American Travis Ortmeyer next. Really not living up to his expectations after a great debut in 2008, but he does know how to get himself psyched up.
I guess you could say I get a little crazy before I go out there. That's not the first time I've heard that. It's another world. You know, all focus is inward, and you get that adrenaline rush, and then you just get so much power. It's how I kept up with all the big guys when I wasn't nearly as strong as them. But this year, I'm as strong as them, and hopefully I've still got that mental power. The ultimate goal is to win every competition I go to, and this one's no different. Obviously, I wasn't happy with 5th place last year. The problem was that I just put too much energy into the qualifiers and didn't have enough left over for the finals. Hopefully this year will be a different story.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the United States of America, it's Travis Ortmeyer.
So here he is, the American getting psyched up once more. If he can't beat Lawrence's time, that does mean that the Englishman has made it through to the final, so it all depends on what Ortmeyer can do. He's away well.
You know, he works as a personal trainer back in Texas. I don't suppose he uses car walk as a part of his repertoire for people who walk in off the street. But he is so strong, Paul. He was tremendous last year. 5th, the world's strongest man, is nothing to be sniffed at. But he's in a real tight situation now. He needs a win.
Well, he's not going to get it. The good news is for Englishmen and English supporters is that Lawrence Charlet has won it. 21.87, and Ortmeyer currently in 3rd.
He doesn't look happy, does he? He was steady all the way. Perhaps he could have just rolled the dice a little more and charged at it.
He is feeling a bit under the weather, though. He has got a cold. I just wonder how that affected him.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Norway, Richard Skog.
The man mountain that is Richard Skog of Norway. Really is yet to shine in World's Strongest Man this year. Lawrence Charlet looking and watching and waiting, 21.87. That truly is a remarkable time from Lawrence. But Lawrence, I wonder if he realises it. He is through to the final, and that is the main thing. And we've still got 2 events to go.
He must have the broadest shoulders in the world, Paul. Look at this, he's as wide as a car almost. But Skog was saying to me before this contest, he actually thinks he lost too much weight to get ready for the heat of Malta. Still 350 pounds, and tell you what, the crowd better watch out here. There's some dodgy driving.
He is struggling towards the end, but who can blame him? He's over the line, 32.22, and that does mean that Lawrence has won this event. It's maximum points for England once more. And Richard Skog, well, disappointed for him, disappointing for the Norwegian supporters. In 5th place.
It didn't help that he navigated a skew course, starting to move over to the crowd there. He then had to waste energy to get it back on course.
Another impressive performance from Etienne Smit has really got people thinking, but all eyes are on Lawrence Charlet, who has once again destroyed the field in another immensely heavy event. 4 events, 3 victories and a place in the final secured with ease. All this in just his 2nd World's Strongest Man. Congratulations to Lawrence. Talking now with Zoe.
What a remarkable performance there from Team Yellow. How have we done it?
No idea. It's a complete shock. It's got to be the T-shirt, I think. This is my lucky colour this year.
It certainly must be, but I think yellow really is the gold. I think you're definitely going for the gold now. What do you think? 2 events left to go, you know, and you're still straight through to the final now. I mean, it must be a great feeling.
It's an amazing feeling. This year, my goal was always to make the final. To do it with 2 events to spare was a complete shock. I've just been given 100% on each event I've had this year, and luckily things have gone my way. Now I can enjoy the next 2 events and try and save some energy for the final, and then start again, and who knows, and try and place as high as I can in that final.
Well, all the best of luck. Thanks very much, Lawrence.
Thank you, cheers.
We all knew he was good after that performance on debut last year, but nobody could have predicted Charlet would have such an impact in 2009. To see if he can continue his hot streak, let's head back to Paul Dickinson and Colin Bryce.
Thanks, Martin. We're on the beach this time for the keg toss. Always a spectacular event. Time limit 75 seconds. 8 kegs that have got to go over the bar, ranging between 17 and 24 kilos. Well, first up, it was Kozelniks. He only managed 4 kegs in total, but he was the current leader. Then along came Lawrence Charlet, our overall leader. Now, he may be holding something back for the final because he only managed 3 and then walked away.
Ladies and gentlemen, from South Africa.
So Etienne Smit now, he's tied for 2nd place. He's got a great chance of qualifying. This is going to be interesting. It's a modest lead at the moment that Kozelniks has. That absolutely flew over Colin. Very impressive.
Goodness me. Oh, now they're starting to get a little bit closer to the bar as they get heavier. We're on to the 22 kilo weights, now to the 24s. Will this one go over? Has he given too much too early?
That was good. It crept over. This weighs 50 pounds. Oh, yes. That was excellent. Etienne Smit becomes the first man to finish the keg toss. All 8 go over in a time of 25.89.
Luck was on his side there. At least 2 barrels went just the right side of the bar.
Etienne, that was absolutely amazing. You must be thrilled.
I'm thrilled, but not completely happy. I could have gone a bit faster. Waited for 1 or 2 barrels to go over. I should have reset immediately. But yeah, I'm happy.
You're very hard on yourself. You say you could have gone faster, but actually it is the leading time at the moment. And yeah, I mean, you did knock the bar there at the top a couple of times. Did it make you feel a bit nervous about getting to the last one? Did you think you were going to do it?
No, I knew I would do it. I just knew it.
Good for you. Do you know you're going to get to the final?
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Sweden, Johannes.
That remains to be seen. Johannes Arhu is next, and he is tied for 2nd place, so a real close competitor to Etienne Smit. This is going to be interesting.
Well, last year, Paul, he did all of the kegs. But the height's gone up by 6 inches from last year, and the weights, they've gone up too. Last year, the starting weight, 15 kilos, now 17 kilos. So far, so good, though.
All of the kegs have gone cleanly over. 5 meters high is the barrier. Now, 1 more to go. It's a good time as well. Ooh, that was so close. Fair to say, then, that Etienne Smit is still in the lead. And over this guy, he's got an advantage as well with only 1 event to go. That is disappointing for Arhu, and that could make a big difference to his chances of making the final.
Well, that was a little strange. He still had quite a bit of time there, Paul. He was like a beaten man. He could have waited another 20 seconds, had a crack at it, but he chose not to. I don't know what his psychology is, but he doesn't look happy.
United States of America, Travis Ortmeyer!
Chance for Travis Ortmeyer to shine. Just been a little bit below par, but I think he enjoys this event. And last year, Colin, he went pretty well, didn't he?
Oh, he went absolutely nuts. I think at one point there was 2 barrels in the air.
Oh!
He didn't get that right at all, Paul, and that's not what you need when you're feeling a little under the weather and you need maximum points. To misfire like that.
Interesting that earlier Lawrence Charley only decided to do 3 barrels, satisfied that he's done enough to make it through to the final, but Travis Ortmeyer, really, it's all gone wrong over the course of the last 3 or 4 events.
Oh, and when it was going right for Etienne Smith, it's going wrong for Ortmeyer. If it sits on the bar today for Ortmeyer, it's going the wrong way over. Travis just needs to try and get his head together. He's got 75 seconds. If he can get 8 kegs up, then he will go ahead of Arjo on points. But no, he looks a beaten man, doesn't he?
There we have it. 6 kegs only in 3rd place for Travis Ortmeyer of the USA.
Last year he destroyed that final keg. This year, not even close.
With 5 barrels.
It's just pathetic. God dang.
From Norway,
Richard Skog, the last man to go. The only man who can prevent Etienne Smith of South Africa from winning. Well, Richard Skog, all smiles. I wonder what he'd be like when the event is finished. Here we go. Really gets himself switched on quickly, does Skog. And those 2 have gone flying over, but they are the lightest.
Well, once again, a really good start. Each time he's positioning himself. Oh, it's gone wrong. I thought I was about to say he's positioning himself well, but he didn't get the angle right. Now he's back on track here. We're halfway, and you're right, Paul, they're getting heavier and heavier.
Well, take a look at the way he's throwing them, though, Colin. He's not extending up onto his toes. He drives up, and then his hips stay low, and that is a disadvantage.
Yeah, and he's 6'5". He's already got the height advantage. All he's got to do is straighten up, stand true and tall, and extend his arms. But he's not doing that.
Etienne Smith will be absolutely delighted. Richard Skog, not so, because he's only in 4th place.
Another world-class performance from Etienne Smith wins him his first ever World's Strongest Man event. Who would bet against his prediction of a final place in this form? The South African is in prime position to accompany Charley into the final. Unless we have a major turnaround in the last event, Smith will create the contest's biggest upset by eliminating Travis Ortmeyer. But stand by for fireworks after the break in the Texans' favourite event.
From my very first contest, I've just had a knack for Atlas stones. I just decided that was going to be my event, and there it is. It's mine.
Can Travis Ortmeyer clinch it in the Atlas stones? That's next.
Welcome back. Our last event, the Atlas Stones. As always, those 5 stones have got to go up on the plinths in the fastest possible time. The 5 stones range in weight between 100 kilos and a massive 352 pounds, 160 kgs. Well, Lawrence Charley from England, he'd already qualified for the final, so he just strolled through his event. 3 stones at a time of 25.54. As far as Kozelniks was concerned, he was a little better. He achieved 4 stones in a time of 47.43.
from the United States of America, Travis
Well,
Ortmeyer.
amazingly, Travis Ortmeyer of the United States does have a chance of qualifying for the World's Strongest Man final in his favourite event. Richard Skog, he's got to win this event to make it through. So this is a real interesting prospect. There are the positions. On Charley, of course, it doesn't matter what happens to him in this event. He's already through. But look at the places from 2, 3 and 4. It is so close. Well, very interesting to see how Travis Ortmeyer gets on. He calls himself the Texas Stone Man, and he reckons he's unbeatable, Colin.
Well, this is a great event for Ortmeyer to finish off on. But is it a little bit too late? That's the problem. Even if he wins this, he needs the others to fall into place so that the points figure out correctly for him. But he's giving it his best here. I tell you what, the Skog is stone for stone.
This is fantastic. Can Skog get it? Travis Ortmeyer's going to get it. The American gets first place for the time being. Richard Skog in second. What a great confrontation. And that is what World's Strongest Man is all about. 5 stones, 29.97. But it's Travis Ortmeyer who's taken the lead. 27.96.
You know what this could do? If Skog slips in between Smit, he might have done him a huge favour finishing that 5th stone off. Ortmeyer being so fast, Skog being so close, this really puts the pressure on Smit now.
The South African on the right-hand side, he's up against Johannes Arhu, who's got to win the stones. The mathematicians have been out with the slide rule, and they've also calculated that Smit must finish in at least 2nd place and beat Arhu. There is the situation currently. Travis Ortmeyer, a cracking finish to his strongman, 5 stones in 27.96. What a finish to this heat of World's Strongest Man 2009. Away we go. And I bet after the last event, the South African Smit must have thought he was through to the final, but it's all gone wrong there, and Arhu is in the lead.
Oh, this is slow from Smit. He surprised us in the keg. He showed us just how athletic he is. The smile creeping across Ortmeyer's face. He's done the maths. He knows that these guys, if they're over 30 seconds with the 5 stones, he's going to do it.
Well, there is Smit, who's really struggling. I can tell you that Arhu is not going to beat Travis Ortmeyer, and that means the American has made it through to the final, and the Swede has not. Well, for these two guys in the final event, it has all gone wrong. And Etienne Smit says, nah, can't do that, don't want to do it now. So we won't see either of these two men in the final. Johannes Arhu finishing there, a very good performance, 5 stones in 35.23. And there is Etienne Smit's time, only 3 stones. He does not qualify either.
Good job, Etienne.
Well, he said it was his event, and in the end, the Atlas Stones came to Travis Ortmeyer's rescue. The Texan needed that victory, and he got it by a mere 2 seconds. It's the American that accompanies Laurent Charlet into the 10-man final. Congratulations to both of them, but praise must also go to Johannes Arhu and debutant Etienne Smit. So Laurent Charlet tops the group and is joined in the final by the big American Travis Ortmeyer, who scrapes through in the most dramatic of fashion. Next up, it's Heat 5 and the first appearance of England's big Terry Hollands. A podium finisher in 2007. Can he improve on that in 2009? We shall see. Until then, from Malta, goodbye.
You can't buy masculinity, but if you'd like the chance to win a World's Strongest Man bag of stuff, go to bravo.co.uk. After the break here on the telly, though, another chance to catch Tim Hutton and Gina Bellman as modern-day Robin Hoods in episode 1 of Leverage.
Welcome to Malta for the final qualifying round of World's Strongest Man 2009. 8 giants have already battered their way into the final, amongst them Englishman Laurent Charlet. There are just 2 places remaining, and another giant Brit has his eyes firmly fixed on one of them. The 2009 final is shaping up to be one of the all-time great contests in the history of World's Strongest Man. Never before have so many of the true greats of the sport gone head-to-head. Now 6 men must battle for the right to join this exclusive list in the final qualifying round of World's Strongest Man 2009. Terry Hollands finished on the podium in 2007, but he was bitterly disappointed with his performance last year, and he's been training like a demon to make amends. Zoe Salmon has caught up with Big Tell down at the first event.
Terry, you're just about to go on now. First event, how are the nerves?
Yeah, they're actually really bad, to be honest. I was just putting my chalk on and realised how much I was shaking. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully this will be a good event for me. It should be, so fingers crossed I can get a win.
I mean, 2 years ago, runner-up. Last year, maybe not doing quite as well as you like in the finals. I mean, how have you approached this year's training and preparation?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been really strict with myself. I haven't actually missed a session pretty much in the last 4 months, so it's been really good preparation. No real major injuries this year, so I'm feeling good.
No injuries, good prep. Well, I mean, it's all sounding quite good, so no need to be nervous. Perhaps just go out there and obviously do your best. We're all rooting for you.
Yeah, I'll hopefully just do my best and see what happens.
That's all you can do, is your best. Here's our first event, traditional one as well, the medley. All of these implements have got to be put into the sled at the end of the runway, then it's got to be carried down 20 metres. The cannonball and, of course, the barrels too. Time limit, 75 seconds for all of our contestants.
In lane 1, from Germany,
Florian Trimpel of Germany, the first man we see, comes from Bavaria.
Christian Savoy.
Another newcomer, Christian Savoy of Canada, first World's Strongest Man appearance for the Canadian champion. And Dave Ostland of the USA comes from Minnesota, a big man indeed.
Wait, boys.
So speed, endurance and power are the ingredients here in this medley. A bit of sprinting too, Colin.
Well, if it comes down to speed, power and size, you'd have to go with Dave Ostland here. Ostland's a man that led the World's Strongest Man finals last year, and he ended up on the podium, still in third position at the end, so he's got real pedigree. But Savoy, in the red there, just won Canada's Strongest Man. He's on a high, and he's flying at the moment.
He certainly is. He's heading towards the finish without any slip-up so far. Just having a little look behind him. There's only a few metres to go. He's got to get that sledge over the line. Just failing to sprint over the line. Now, who's going to get second place? Whoa! It's so close. Both men think they've got second place. Well, the judges will sort that out, but no doubt about the winner, Christian Savoy of Canada, 37.78 seconds. Oh, Dave Ostland just failing to get second place, 42.15. Nevertheless, a good time. And there's second place, Florian Trimpel of Germany, 41.98. Great start.
Well, less than 0.2 of a second between second and third. But first place, there was no doubt Christian Savoy is in good form.
In lane 1, from Poland, Jarek.
The old campaigner, 38 years old now, been in World's Strongest Man many times before.
From Estonia,
Andras Muromets over the last few years has been building a real good portfolio of victories. And Terry Hollands from England comes from Dartford, the biggest man of this trio. Has he got what it takes to take big points here in the medley? Away we go. Terry Hollands gets the cannonball. Look at that, he's moving well.
You know he can shift, Paul. He was a former rugby player, used to play second row. No surprise there, he's 6'6", but his foot speed is as good as any. Now he's got the body weight here as well. That's definitely an advantage in this pull. Why is he going side on? That's not the clever thing, and look who's going in the lead now, it's Muromets.
This is a fantastic finish by Muromets. The Estonian is going to get it surely. Yes, he does. And he wins the event too. That was a very fast time. And Terry Hollands, after a brilliant start there, just faded at the end. And the former teammate of Mariusz Pudzianowski finishing there on the far side. He really ran out of steam at the end. But Andras Muromets of Estonia, he's our winner. 34.38. Great time. And Terry Hollands finishing in second place. So a good start for the Englishman.
Well, Dimmick down in sixth. That's very disappointing for Dimmick, though he's probably the lightest man in the entire heat. Big Terry, though, a tremendous start, and I think a mistake cost him first. The Estonian, though, kept his cool.
Merrimatt's did a completely fast time there, so actually coming second to that must be pretty satisfying.
Yeah, fairly satisfying. I mean, I think we had the 3 fastest times in all the groups. Yeah, it's just one of them things. I mean, hopefully I can make the points up on the next event.
So how are you feeling now overall?
Yeah, not too bad. It's nice to get the first one out of the way, settle the nerves a little bit, and I know the next event's a good one for me, so hopefully I can get the win there.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
So it's Andras Muromets who gets off to a flyer in the final qualifying heat. Holland seems happy with second, but the big surprise is American Dave Ostlund, 5th in an event he loves. It's not the start Terry Hollands wanted, but he's up and running, and next up is his speciality event. After the break, it's the truck pull. Welcome back to sunny Malta, where the temperature is as hot as the competition. Before the break, we saw Terry Hollands take second spot in the medley, but next up is an event in which he will be odds-on favourite. Your commentators, Colin Bryce, and first up, Paul Dickinson.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. There we have the truck right at the end of the runway. All of our strong men have got 75 seconds to pull a 20-ton monster down the course, which is 25 metres. Well, certainly we've had 2 competitors so far with mixed fortunes. Florian Trimpel of Germany, he finished the course in just over 57 seconds. And Dymek, well, he couldn't finish it. His lighter body weight a disadvantage. So now it's the turn of Christian Savoy of Canada. Canadians have always been pretty good at this event in the past. Away we go. 57.43, the leading time so far by Trimpel of Germany.
Well, he's not lacking in confidence, Paul. Before this event, he said he was going to win the pull faster than anybody. And with Terry Hollands in the heat, that's a big boast.
Well, Terry Hollands, he goes a little bit later. He's a big fella, and his body weight's going to be a massive advantage. But the Canadian is striding out well here. And certainly from that front camera position, you get a great impression of just how tough this event is.
Well, I don't know if Christian Savoy is the world's strongest man this year, but he's got himself in the best condition ever. He really is trained up to the maximum potential of his body, and he's pulling this to a very good time. 45 seconds, Paul. That's a huge benchmark for the others to go against.
Certainly is. That's 12 seconds almost faster than Florian Trimpel. And I just wonder if a few of the other competitors will just quake a little bit when they see this performance again.
Well, there's those rock climbing boots getting the maximum friction against the surface to push off. Really impressive time.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Estonia, Andras Muromets!
Andras Muromets just getting ready. The last few moments of preparation are so important to get your brain in gear. Away we go, just leans into it and then starts pumping the legs hard. Slow and steady is the order of the day when you get going, but then when you get momentum up, it's all about balance and power.
Well, those baggy clothes really do hide some of the thickest legs in the world. Muromets has incredible thighs on him. And he's putting them to good use here. He's in a good position. This looks like a good pull so far.
The crowd certainly appreciating the immense strength of these guys. That's a bird's eye view from the driver's cab there, and this is going to be a good time. Is it going to be good enough, though, to beat the time of Christian Savoy? I don't think it is. It's just going to be short. But Muromets, nevertheless, 47.07. That is a very competent time, and it could be one of the leading times by the time we get to the end of the truck pull. Second place at the moment for the Estonian.
You know what, Paul? He doesn't look too out of breath either. We've seen some people do the truck pull and collapse afterwards. Muromets is in good condition. This heat, wow, Hollands has really got his work cut out, hasn't he?
Well, we'll see Terry Hollands. He's getting warmed up. And Dave Ostlund is the next guy. He needs a good performance here. You certainly don't want to lose ground too quickly over the first couple of events. Otherwise, when you're playing catch-up, it is so hard. 20 tons that truck weighs. I've heard one or two of the guys say it is the biggest truck we've ever seen in World's Strongest Man.
Dave Osland, a very good puller. 6'7" tall, and look how low to the ground he is. Probably trains harder than anybody else. He really does. Twice a day. Gave up his career in real estate to do strongman a few years ago. So committed.
Well, he's just beginning to blow a little bit now, but the legs are still driving on. And this is certainly a time which is on par with that of Christian Savoy. Just over the 40-second barrier. Come on, he's got to drive on now towards the finish. Just shy of the lead. But he goes ahead of Mouramets, and that's superb for Osland. 46.28, currently in second place. Good stuff.
Well, Terry Hollands must be nervous. 3 men between 45 and 47 seconds. If he falls outside that, he could lose a lot of points in this event.
So a pretty good result there for Dave Osland. Terry Hollands is up next, though, looking pensive. And I wonder how he's going to get on in this year's competition for the world's strongest man.
In 2007, when I got the 3rd place, it was a great achievement, but I came away thinking, you know, yeah, I'm 3rd, it's good, but it's not where I want to be. To be honest, I was hoping I'd get a 1st place finish that year. That just wasn't to be. Last year I had a bad year, injuries and stuff, and I was very disappointed with my performance in the final. I was happy to make the final, but I didn't do myself justice, I don't think. Sometimes it's good to take a knock like last year. It really gave me a lot of motivation to do better this year, and 2 days after I was back from Worlds I was training hard, and I've literally not missed a session all year. My goal this year is it's got to be at least a top 5 finish, really. If I could make top 10 in the shape I was last year, I should make top 5 this year.
Well, he certainly has got his supporters in the crowd. Terry Hollands acknowledging the applause down here on the harbour side. And certainly, as Colin Bryce has been saying, some cracking times have been set. So this is a real test for the man from Dartford. And certainly in terms of body weight, Colin, he's got a bit of an advantage, and he looks as though he's got away quickly.
He does have a bit of an advantage. 180 kilos in body weight, that's 400 pounds. He's a massive man, size 17 feet. I mean, he's just a monster, Terry. And you know what? This is the only event through all the heats, Paul. And if we look back to Heat 2, Brian Shaw, the best time of all, 42 seconds. I wonder if Terry could do that. That'll show just what kind of shape he's in.
Tell you what, he's going well. This is a cracking time. It could be under 40 seconds, my goodness, just outside. Oh, that was superb by the Englishman. He doesn't know the time himself yet, but he thinks he's won it, and indeed he has. 40.50. Oh, just wonder how he feels about that. It was superb.
And not just the fastest in his heat, the fastest of anyone across all heats.
Terry, totally incredible. Winner of the group, and very deservedly so. You were so steady and so fast. It must have felt amazing.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it wasn't actually as bad as I expected, to be honest. I mean, obviously I'm really out of breath now, but I mean, I watched the other groups go, and it looked like a really heavy pull, and I'm just pleased with the time.
I mean, losing out earlier on in the medley, in terms of you expected to win it, bit of disappointment there. Surely this makes up for a terrific specialty event like this. Winning it is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is an event I always do well on, and I expected to do well again. Guys in my group are all good truck pullers as well, so I wasn't quite sure, but no, I'm happy with that result, really happy.
No surprise to see Terry Hollands in pole position in the truck pull, but once again Dave Osland underperforms. He would have hoped to get in between the Englishman and Christian Savoy. Hollands moves ahead of Mouramets after the Estonian fails to impress in the truck pull, but the big surprise at the moment must be the performance of the rookie Canadian Christian Savoy. All of these athletes in Heat 5 are aiming to emulate the achievements of men like this. Sven Karlsson, World's Strongest Man 2001, and a true legend of the sport. Zoe's caught up with the Viking down at the next event.
Thanks very much, Martin. Yes, I'm here with Sven Karlsson, 2001 winner of the title of World's Strongest Man. Sven, good to see you. Now, are you surprised, looking at that leaderboard, how well Anders Mouramets is doing at the moment?
Not really, you know, he's been on board for a few years, just that he has been in a different federation for the past 2 years. So I knew he was strong, and he has probably the strongest grip in the world. So he's going to surprise a few people here, I guess.
Now, probably not as big a surprise, certainly to English viewers anyway, is how well Terry Hollands is doing, and certainly the deadlift is a good event for him. What do you reckon?
I guess he will be the one to beat in this group. He's doing so good, and he's been training so hard and been so determined over the years, and I know he looks fitter than ever. He's going to be a tough man as well.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. Thanks very much, Sven.
Thank you.
Well, here we go with the next event, the deadlift. A real tough prospect for everybody out there, including the leader, Terry Hollands. 3 men have gone so far. Christian Savoy of Canada leads the way, 6 repetitions in 38.79 seconds. Dave Osland of the United States, he's in 4th place overall. Still a way to go. It's the top 2 who will qualify for the final, of course. But now Osland can't afford to make any mistakes, and he's got to produce something special. Every time they lift, well, the weight is increased, and that will make a significant difference by the time they get to lifts number 6 and 7.
There's some very good pullers in this heat, Paul. But to do all 7 is a monumental task. Austin pulls up another good one, but you know what? At the top of that lift, it started just to look a bit hard, and I wonder whether Dave Austin's in quite the shape he was in last year.
He's gone ahead of Christian Savoy of Canada, though. His 6th lift was faster, so even if he doesn't do this one, and he couldn't quite get it above his knees, we have a new leader, Dave Osland of the USA. He's still going to have another go, certainly within the time limit of 75 seconds. But how much have those previous lifts taken out of him?
Good for Osland. But so rarely do you see someone who's already missed a lift actually go down and pick it up again. His first few lifts, they look clean, they look smooth. But then he just hit the wall.
So there we have it. Dave Osland of the USA, the current leader. And that's the time to beat. 30.96, and that's what faces Terry Hollands of England.
From Dartford, England.
The pride of Kent. Wearing odd socks, I'm not quite sure what that's about. There's Terry's girlfriend. Little picture there for posterity. I'm sure she'd rather have a photograph on the mantelpiece of this man raising the World's Strongest Man trophy.
And just a little point here, Paul. This is the 5th and final heat. We've seen Marcoux, Felix, Charlet and Sadler. The Brits have won every single heat in the powerlifting movement, the squat and the deadlift. A little bit of pressure on Terry here to keep the side up for Britain.
Well, he's going well at the moment. Almost just using his back as opposed to the legs as well. It's a tricky position when you're down there to use the legs, but he's making good use of it, going well on 6 reps. Can he get number 7? Terry Hollands, looking good.
He's nailed it. 7 reps in 32 seconds. The Brits will be pleased with that one. Jimmy and Lawrence all cheering from the sidelines. Really impressive. That last rep, he had to dig deep. Only just finished it, had to get his hips through. Finished it off.
All those other guys made that look so difficult, but you made it look just absolutely painless. You're so comfortable out there.
Yeah, I mean, my deadlift's been going really well in training leading up to this, and I needed good points today. I might have a little bit of a bad event, the second to last one, the keg toss, so I need all the points I can get at the moment.
And how are you feeling at the moment after that? Surely that must lead the group.
Yeah, I mean, I feel fantastic. At the moment, I'm about, well, before this I was 2 points clear. Hopefully I'll be more after this, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty comfortable and confident of making the final.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Terry Hollands leads, of course, and guaranteed 5 points. That is, of course, if Andras Muramets can go faster for 7 lifts than Terry Hollands. 32.7 to beat. And Muramets, of course, spent hours and hours in the gym doing these sort of power lifting exercises. And certainly the Estonian made that first one look very easy, as he did number 2.
On paper, he should do all the lifts. His maximum weight in the deadlift is up at 400 kilos. That's well above the last barrel. But how will he deal with multiple lifts? The fatigue factor.
Keep your eye on the clock. Terry Holland's 32.7 to beat. And he's running out of time. I think he's guaranteed second place at the moment, but he's not going to get first place. We have an English victory. Now come on, Muromets, try and finish this one off. This is just for pride. Tried to get in the right position, tried to squeeze it up, but Terry Hollands there is our winner. And he does move further ahead in the standings. He said he needed extra points and he's got them, and Andras Muromets now on his own in second place.
Another big effort from Big Tell wins his second event of qualifying, and with favoured events remaining, he'll be feeling confident. Andras Muromets claims a valuable second place. Dave Ostland needs to improve. The man from Dartford moves 3 clear at the top, while Muromets reinforces his position in second. Watch out for Christian Savoy, the debutant is looking nerveless. Hollands is holding off his 2 main rivals at the moment. There may be a threat from the newcomer, but it's the Englishman in charge at the halfway point. Welcome back to Malta, where England's Terry Hollands is making light work of this heavy-duty competition. Next up is an event that perfectly suits his massive frame, and it's one he absolutely loves. It's the Fingals Fingers.
Technically, it's one of the most difficult events in World's Strongest Man. There's the course all laid out in front of them. And here's what faces them. A time limit of 75 seconds. The 5 fingers increasing in weight all the way up to 320 kilograms. I wonder how Terry Hollands feels about his prospects.
Well, Terry, it is stunning down here by the water's edge, but I'm sure you've got your mind on slightly more painful things right now.
Yeah, just concentrating on the job, really. It's a beautiful scenery and stuff, but yeah, just concentrating on the job of doing well on the Fingals Fingers.
And of course, your track record is pretty good on that, so you must be feeling fairly confident.
Yeah, I'm feeling fairly confident. I think if I get a good result here, I'm basically almost through to the final. Still 2 good events to come, but yeah, I just need a good result. I'm hoping for at least a second place. I think Dave will still beat me anyway, but I don't think any of the other guys will, hopefully not anyway.
Does that put the pressure on you, knowing that this could be the one that secures your place in the final?
Yeah, it does a little bit, but I like the pressure. It sort of, it actually, you know, makes me do better. I think a lot of guys are too relaxed a lot of the time, and perhaps they can use that pressure in a negative way, but I try and use it in a positive way and to push me on a bit harder.
Well, pressure may well have been one of the things that affected Andras Muromets and Christian Savoy of Canada. Muromets 4 fingers in 45.45. He leads for the time being.
From Poland, Jarek Dymek.
The veteran Jarek Dymek in 6th place, and I think it's fair to say he's enjoying his time here in Malta, but he's finding it tough. Florian Trimpel in 5th place. The Bavarian, big man. And Dymek, I think he's lost a bit of weight over the last few years. Still very athletic, can move well, but he hasn't got the sheer bulk and strength of some of these other guys.
And it's good to see Florian Trimpel sporting the Lederhausen there, Paul. Comes from Munich, very much a nationalist, very proud to be German. Now he's behind Dymek. That's a little bit of surprise because he gives away Dymek about 6 inches to Florian Trimpel, and this is really a tall man's event. But is he playing catch-up? Is it tortoise in the hare here?
Well, certainly Jarek Dymek, he finished 4 fingers there in around about 32.5 seconds, so he's leading at the moment, even if he doesn't get number 5. And that massive 300 kilogram plus finger there, not going over for Dymek. So I wonder if this fella can do it. Florian Trimpel, he would love to go into the lead now.
Just over 15 seconds. Now, when it comes down to the shoulder, that's usually it. Good effort from both guys, but that 5th finger just too much.
So 4 fingers in a time of 49 seconds plus. But there is our current leader, Jarek Dymek of Poland.
Well, I'd have thought Trimble would have been a little bit better at this, at least a good go at the 5th. I guess we'll have to wait for Terry and Dave to do that.
In lane 1, from Dartford, England, Terry Hollands!
This could be a real defining moment in the competition for Terry Hollands. Ideally suited for this event. I wonder if he can make it 2 wins in a row.
Dave Osland!
But Terry Hollands, in his interview, said possibly Dave Osland is the favourite for this one. 6 feet 7 inches tall. And we have got 2 giant men here in this contest.
And you know what, Paul? This event is in the final as well, so it's a good practice run-through for these 2 men. It's Osland who's just ahead onto the 3rd.
Osland is absolutely flying at the moment. I'm saying Terry Hollands has run out of steam, but look at this. It's precision. Technically, it's very difficult. Now then, can he get the last one?
Well, what's with that? Hollands has given up on the 4th. Maybe he's done his maths. Maybe he knows he only needs a quick 4.
Osland, though, becomes the first man to tip over the 5 fingers. And there is our winner. But Terry Hollands, he's got a 2nd place too, so he's still in the big points. Good result for the Englishman.
Well, maybe not so stupid from Hollands. Conserve a little energy for the final. Osland, though, still needs to get more wins if he's going to guarantee his place.
Congratulations. That is, of course, your own very specialist event, so no surprises there. But what a great time. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, pretty happy. Time's a little better than what I did last year, and I really needed the points here. So we got 2 left. I think it's wide open again.
You think it's wide open? You're not feeling confident for that place in the final?
Oh, no, I mean, I had to make up the deficit here. And now Andres and I can duel it out for that 2nd spot. 2 events left, but I can't make any more mistakes.
You're going to have to pretty much win both of them. Are you up for that?
I'm going to try a good event, so we'll see what we can do.
Terry, well done. You did the 4 there. No need to go for the 5th. Still a good result for you. You see, you're actually pretty clever for a strong man, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, part of it's obviously just saving a bit of energy back for the final. I knew if I did 4 in quicker than 32, I had someone there checking the time for me. As soon as I did 4 in like 28, I thought I'd just stop there. Pretty much knew I wouldn't beat Dave anyway.
You're pretty confident of getting through there?
Yeah, very confident, and yeah, just save as much energy back as possible now. Just do enough to get the points I need.
Dave Osland finally comes to life here in Malta and reminds us why he finished on the podium in 2008. Terry Hollands shows impressive tactical awareness to take a valuable 2nd. It looks to be a fight for the 2nd qualifying spot as Terry Hollands takes control in Group 5. The question now is, can Dave Osland recreate the form of 2008?
My 5th time here, so I'm starting to, get pretty hungry. The 1st year it was just happy to be here, then it was happy to make finals, and now I've been on the podium, so now the next step is to win the whole thing, and I want to do that quite badly. I'd probably tell my son, that this has been just what I wanted to do with my life and what I kind of dreamed of, and I'm very happy that I've, decided to pursue this to the fullest of my abilities, and I'd tell him the same thing, if you have a dream, go for it, and don't not do it because other people tell you. Physically, I feel really good. I'm at my heaviest body weight ever. I'm at about 350 pounds, and I've been able to keep my conditioning up, so I feel like with that extra body weight comes some extra strength. I'm ready to go.
Well, this is what faces our competitors here. 8 kegs in total laid out on the beach. The time limit once more is 75 seconds, and the kegs increase in weight up to 24 kilograms, and that wall is 5 meters high. Well, this is what happened early doors. Florian Trimble was first off the blocks. 5 kegs he achieved in the maximum time allowed. Well, Jarek Dimmick, the veteran, 38 years old, not having a great time here in Malta, but he loves the show. Ready? He loves anything to do with strength. I just think this might be a nice event for him. He's so athletic.
He is incredibly athletic. Before strongman, in his teens, he was actually a gymnast. Still to this day, he can do a backflip if you ask him. And here goes number 5. This is really good, Paul.
Well, he's certainly taken the lead very quickly. Oh, that one was one of the highest of the lot. Now onto the heavy 24-kilo kegs. And that is 50 pounds flying over the bar there. Come on, number 8. Oh, just missed out. Just having a little word with the keg there. I tell you what, if he told me to do something, I'd do it in a hurry. But he could do with this one. This would be good points. Excellent points, I feel, by the time we get to the end. And he's just lost it in terms of his endurance factor here. But Jarek Dymock, for once, smiling and growling too.
Well, I guess the pressure's off Dymock. He's probably thinking, I'm not going to make this year's final. I can relax. Puts in a great performance, and, you know, he just might turn things round.
From Canada, Christian Savoy!
The Canadian champion, Christian Savoy of Canada, in 4th place.
Ready?
Here we go. And it's Jarek Dymock who leads at the moment. Nobody's managed to toss all 8 kegs, and certainly in some of the previous heats, we have had some competitors go all 8, and some of them have done it quite easily too. Now, how can the Canadian get on? He's got shorter arms, and his technique here is lacking.
I'm not even sure if it's short arms, Paul. He's pulling them in. He's shortening his lever, and that's not good for creating speed with the keg.
Well, he certainly is struggling here. This could be one of the lowest totals that we've seen so far. Now, Florian Trimple, he achieved 5. Oh, that one just scraped over, my goodness. Now, come on, this to draw level with the German. As you say, he's not keeping his arms straight, so the pull he gets is far, far less than possibly a taller man would do as well. Ah, that's it. So Christian Savoy, his most disappointing performance so far, I would suggest. He's in 3rd place currently, but there's still a long way to go.
And he just wasn't coordinating the whole thing well. Shortened levers, shortened pull, didn't go right under his legs with the keg. Made it very difficult for himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the group from Dartford, England, Terry Holland!
That's a nice moment, isn't it, to be called the leader. He's got to try and hang on to this lead as well, obviously, to go through to the final. And that's certainly something he achieved last year. Now, Terry Hollands, being tall, being long in the arm, and being very powerful, is well equipped to do this.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago in Minehead, he did this exact event, did all 10 barrels that day without any problem. He tried to do the 10th one with one arm as well to show off. So he's got some past here. On to the 7th.
Come on, Terry!
Just a little bit of timing error there. And he was about a foot short, Paul.
He just seems to have run out of steam. He started off like a train. These last 2 are proving a little bit too much for Terry Hollands. Nevertheless, I still think he's going to finish this event as our overall leader. 6 kegs, he's currently in 2nd place.
The first few, very good. Even had a lucky 6th one over there, but for the 7th, just wasn't going over.
From Estonia, Andres Muramets!
The Estonian champion, Andres Muramets, in 2nd place behind Terry Hollands after the last event. And amazingly, it's still Jarek Dymock of Poland who's in the lead. He finished 7 barrels. I do like this event. I think it's been well thought out, and it is certainly a combination of technique and power and endurance as well, because by the time you get to those last 2 red barrels, you are tired.
Well, at World's Strongest Man, you have to test every muscle, don't you? And every type of strength. This is explosive strength. And this 6th keg to equal Hollands.
Well, that is a surprise. He's got weightlifting boots on. Now he does a lot of weightlifting, a lot of Olympic lifting too. Now he's drawn level with Terry Hollands. This one to draw level with Jarek Dymock, not quite. And 5 metres, the target. He says no more. Beginning to blow a bit. So currently tied for second place with the Englishman.
Well, he looked good for the first few, but like Hollands, as the weight gets heavier, he probably just gave too much on those early barrels.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the United States of America, Dave Osland!
Well, Dave Osland would want to make a move on everybody in this event. He knows precisely what he has to do. He's got to go faster than Dymock. Ideally, he'd like to get 8. Well, technically, that wasn't too good. That was a bit better. That flew over.
If you remember back to Anaheim, California, and that year it was in his heat, and he nailed every single barrel that year. He was tremendous. But he's had a biceps injury this year, and obviously the strain on his right arm that this creates can put him in some discomfort.
This, of course, a similar event that we see in Highland Games competitions where, amazingly, the competitors use one arm to try and get a weight of 56 pounds, which is heavier than this, over the bar. And the world record, Colin, it's about 18 feet, isn't it?
That's right, just a little bit higher than that. That's 25 kilos. But you know what, Paul? They're not doing it 8 times over. This is 24 kilos, and he's already done, what, 8, 9 throws now? He's exhausted.
Yeah, he really has run out of steam there. And he thinks that is enough. So there you go, another man with 6 kegs. So all of those places, the points will be shared.
It's the veteran warhorse Jarek Dymock who wins the keg toss. Not many would have predicted that. Hollands, Osland and Muromets all share second. Savoy's challenge looks to be slipping away. Terry Hollands has qualified for the 10-man final after an extremely consistent performance. But who will join him from Group 5? Will it be the Estonian Andris Muromets or the man who finished 3rd in 2008, American Dave Osland? The Atlas Stones will decide after the break. Welcome back to Malta for the conclusion of the final qualifying round of World's Strongest Man 2009. As so often happens, it has come down to the final event. The Atlas Stones will decide the last qualification place, as Englishman Terry Hollands has already blasted his way into the final. A respectable second place in the medley got his campaign underway before successive wins, first in his signature event, the truck pull, and then the deadlift, eased any potential nerves. Hollands can now relax if he wants, but it's much tighter for Dave Osland and Andris Muromets, who will fight a winner-takes-all battle.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. Well, there is the situation. Currently, Christian Savoy, he lifted all 5 stones, so he has the lead at just over 32 seconds.
From Dartford, England, already through to the final, it's Terry Hollands!
What a great feeling for the Englishman, already through to the final.
It's Jarek Dymock!
Jarek Dymock, he can't qualify, but he's a man of such pride. He will want to perform well here. Here's the situation. All of those 5 stones, ranging from 100 to a massive 160 kilos, have got to be lifted onto the platforms at varying heights, and the time limit is 75 seconds.
Facing your stone.
Well, Terry Hollands, superbly equipped physically, but will he want to go all the way? I think, judging by his body language, he wants this.
Well, he knows this is the setup for the final. Similar platforms, similar stones. He probably is considering this a training session now.
Jarek Dymock, I keep saying this, but he is the old campaigner. Just wonder how many strength contests he has undergone in a long, long career. I bet it's hundreds. Look at that. Terry Hollands has said, no, I've done enough. I'm fine. I'm through to the final, so he can afford to relax.
Well, Dymock's a very proud man. Terry just popping it on there before Dymock, just as a bit of fun. But Dymock, he's never one to give up, even though he knows he can't make the final. He likes to put a show on. He likes to do his best.
Well, he's not going to score big points in this event, I don't think, but he's going to be smiling all the way through to the final. Jarek Dymock, the last time we'll see him. What a shame, a great man. And Terry Holland's just bouncing that one off his stomach. He's got the final to look forward to now, and that will be a different class of competition.
Group 5 from the United States of America, Dave Osland.
Well, this is a real showdown. Dave Osland knows exactly what he's got to do. He's got to win to guarantee a place in the final. And this fella has to beat the American if he wants his place. So finely poised. The sun beginning to set on the beach behind us. And here we go. It's all down to this one.
Well, Paul, who wants it the most? Muromets or Osland? And it's Osland who's gone off to a flyer. He's dealt with those high plinths better, no surprise. He's 4 or 5 inches taller than Muromets. So can the Estonian catch up now?
Well, the Estonian is playing catch-up, but Osland is staying ahead. It's all down to this 5th stone, 350 pounds, and the American gets it. Thank you very much, he says. I've got it, I'm in the final. And poor old Muromets, despite the fact he got a 5th stone as well, in a very, very good time, he does not qualify. Dave Osland is through, along with Terry Hollands. Good stuff for the American.
Well, I think it's huge relief for Osland. Muromets started this heat with a win. He looked good all the way through, but somehow Osland gathered enough points to make it to the final.
Yeah, congratulations there. You always seem so calm and controlled, but what's going through your head as you know you're doing that and it's the last important event?
Just really, really nervous. I wanted to get him done as quick as I could. Andres is such a great competitor. I couldn't afford to make any mistakes, and luckily I didn't.
And how does it feel to be a World's Strongest Man finalist for 2009?
Feels good. I'm happy to be back to the final.
The relief is written all over Dave Osland's face then as he wins the final event and breaks the heart of the Estonian veteran Andris Muromets. Terry Hollands tops the group, but it couldn't have been closer for that second spot. Osland and Muromets tied on 26 points. The American goes through on a results countback. So congratulations to big Terry Hollands. He is through to the final, as is the equally massive Dave Osland. And what about that performance from Andris Muromets? Well, our list is now complete. We know our 10 finalists, amongst them 5-time champion Mariusz Pudzianowski. Can he get an historic 6th title, or will we have a new name on the trophy? To find out, join us next time. Until then, though, from Malta, goodbye. Welcome back to the beautiful Mediterranean island of Malta, where over the last few days 30 giant men have thrown heavy barrels, lifted cars and towed 20-ton trucks. We've had our fair share of blood, sweat and tears, but now all that pain, all that screaming, all that effort counts for absolutely nothing. Our 10 finalists have to do it all over again. They currently stand at the foot of one of the toughest mountains in sport. It's the final of World's Strongest Man 2009. 2 Englishmen have made it through to this final. From Dartford, the 30-stone giant Terry Hollands, winner of Group 5 and a genuine contender. And from Stroud, Lawrence Shagley. He totally dominated round 4. Will he now step up, or will the occasion get to him? One thing is for sure, 5-time champion Mariusz Pudzianowski will have a say in the destination of this title. The Pole is arguably the greatest strongman of all time, but this will be one of the tightest finals we've ever had. Here, with all the action, your commentators Colin Bryce and Paul Dickinson.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. Well, there we have it. Fingal's Fingers is the very first test of strength in this year's final. The rules are very simple. You've got a time limit of 75 seconds. You've got to put the 5 fingers over through 180 degrees. The heaviest of those is 320 kgs. Lawrence Charley has got some moral support in the shape of his wife and baby daughter.
From Dartford, England.
But the first Englishman we're going to see is Terry Hollands. Did so well to qualify for this final. Dominated his heat.
From the United States of America, Brian
He's up against a giant of a man, Brian Shaw from the USA. The Colorado man, absolutely huge. So this is going to be a good start for Terry. There goes the lightest of them. And Colin, he's got a good chance. He came through his heat very strongly.
I don't think we can judge how good Terry is comparing him to Brian in the fingers. Brian could well win this, in fact, very likely to win this event. So if Hollands can hang close, then it'll be good points in this event.
Well, Terry Hollands is playing catch-up at the moment. Brian Shaw has gone off like the proverbial rocket. And here goes the last of the Fingles fingers. That is huge. But Brian Shaw, one of the pre-event favourites, a great time for him. And Terry Hollands just struggling a wee bit, but he does finish. A shake of the head. It was wobbling all over the place. But there we have the leader, 32.37 for the 5 Fingles fingers for Brian Shaw. Terry Hollands, 43.07, still wondering what went wrong.
Well, Shaw just cruised through those. He could have done a 6th one, I'm sure. Hollands, though, I think he's suggesting that the finger was moving a little. Caused him problems anyway.
Terry, well done for getting all 5 there, but you did seem to struggle on the last finger. What was going through your head?
Well, I mean, basically, as I was doing it was moving side to side, and obviously, I want to be pushing it in a straight line. When it's the platform's sliding, it makes it like 100 times harder. So, I don't know, maybe it's a slight bit of bad technique from me, or just that the equipment's slipping on the surface. I don't know, but yeah, not very happy with that, to be honest.
Well, not too happy at all. Dave Ostland, he went 5 fingers, 32.08. So cracking time for the American, just ahead of his teammate. And Travis Ortmeyer of the USA in 3rd place.
representing Lithuania, Zydrunas Savikas.
One of the favourites for the title, Zydrunas Savikas. One of the most experienced too, alongside a former world's strongest man, Phil Pfister. And the Americans occupying places 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. They could get the top 4 if Pfister produces something out of the top draw here. Away we go.
Well, if you remember back to Heat 2, Savikas won that heat ahead of Brian Shaw, and he won this event too ahead of Brian Shaw. So we know he's good at it. Some people think Savikas isn't an athlete, he's just a heavily built, static power man. But he can move, Savikas, and he's well ahead of Pfister here. And Pfister used to have the world record in this event.
Well, Savikas is going like a train. It's a fast time as well. That was superb. Savikas, 28.69. And the former world's strongest man, Phil Pfister, really struggling over the latter half of the course. 37.57. Big Phil will be gutted with that time. What a time by Savikas. It's just been announced. A new world record in the Fingles fingers.
Is Pfister the same force he was 3 years ago when he won the Worlds? I'm not so sure he is. But Savikas, a world record. What a way to start.
Lane 1 from Poland, the current world's strongest man, Marek Pudzianowski.
Not just the current world's strongest man, but a man who's won more titles in this competition than anybody in history. Derek Poundstone, second last year, eager for revenge. What a matchup we've got here. Well, Pudzianowski didn't get away too well in his heats. Had a series of second places, but he really means business now. This is the final. This is where the big man comes alive.
Well, neither Pudzianowski or Poundstone are particularly good at this event compared to the absolute world's best. Neither man much over 6 foot, and that is a bit of a hindrance in this.
Well, this is bad news for Terry Hollands. Both of these guys making rapid progress. And before these final pairings went, Terry was down in 6th place. And look at this, Poundstone getting it over. That is good. That is very good indeed from the American. And Pudzianowski there really battled after a terrific start. But he finishes in 36.47 for 6th place. The big man has made a slip up there. And Derek Poundstone, well, he flew down the course, 35.38. But what a time it was set by Savickas a few moments ago. He wins. Not just a world record, of course, but maximum points too.
What an amazing performance from Zydrunas Savickas, a world record time, confirming him as the principal challenger to Pudzianowski's crown. The Pole could only manage 6th place in this toughest of finals. We're off and running in Malta. These 9 men are going to provide the Dominator with his sternest test ever. Welcome back to sunny Malta for the final of World's Strongest Man 2009. Here with details of the next event is Zoe Salmon.
Thanks, Martin. Now, as you know, I love a good race, but this next one I'd probably give a miss. It's the Giant Farmer's Walk, and believe me, you'd have to genuinely consider yourself a giant to take part. One man who definitely fits that bill is Mr. Bill Kazmaier, 3 times World's Strongest Man champion. Bill, what lies ahead for our finalists in this event?
A really tough event. 160 kilos, 25 stones in each hand. Down the course, 25 meters, set them down, spin the body, pick them back up with all their might, go as fast as they can. Some will drop, some will be pretty quick. A brutal event.
Sounds tough now, Bill. We've already seen a lot of drama in our first event, with Savickas setting a new world record. Any predictions for this event?
Of course, my favorite, Poundstone, the American.
Okay, well, let's see if Bill's predictions are correct.
One of the world's all-time greats calling this a brutal event. 75 seconds, the time limit, the course is 50 meters, and 160 kilograms in each hand.
From Canada, Louis-Philippe Jean.
Louis-Philippe Jean, who's done so well to reach this World's Strongest Man final. Laurent Charlet absolutely dominated his heat. Totally psyched up for this one. And Travis Ortmeyer from Cyprus in Texas, the Texas Stone Man, alongside the former champion, Phil Pfister, who had a disappointing start. And the fighting face of Mariusz Pudzianowski, the all-time great of World's Strongest Man. Well, this is the equivalent of carrying a small motorcycle in each arm. That is phenomenal. And it's Pudzianowski who gets away to a cracking start. Pudzianowski is absolutely flying, but the crucial point comes when they have to turn around. Louis-Philippe Jean on the far side is going well too, but once again it's Pudzianowski who gets away so well. The pole is flying. The master is coming home. What a finishing time for Mariusz Pudzianowski. 25.05. Colin, that was phenomenal.
Incredible grip strength, but look who's coming in second. It's Charlet ahead of Pfister. And it's not lost on the Gloucester man.
There is the Canadian champion finishing on the far side. And Travis Ortmeyer really struggling here. He's had enough. Surely he can't get these over the line now. That was a brilliant start by Pudzianowski, but Laurent Charlet, that could be big points.
Every time you have to pick this up again, it's so hard on the lower back. Ortmeyer looks like a beaten man already. But Pudzianowski, 25 seconds. I thought a winning time might be 35 here, Paul. That's phenomenal.
Laurent Charlet, though, currently in second place. If you can hang on to that, what a brilliant start it would be. And Phil Pfister, he looked a little bit lethargic there, but he's still third fastest so far. Louis-Philippe Jean, 50.45, really struggled. And Travis Ortmeyer, a big, big disappointment for the American.
Well, look at Charlet. I'm sure he was worried his grip was going. In fact, it was. Right at the end there, he was hanging on with his fingertips.
How does it feel having 25 stone in each hand? That is heavy going.
How would you feel having 25 stone in each hand? It really hurts your grip. Imagine that weight trying to rip open your hands. You see a lot of guys, they'll cut their hands open and things. It's a painful event, but one of my better events, so I'm happy. Good performance for me, that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it was very good. The next heat now, Dave Ostland of the United States. A Minnesota man, 6 feet 7 inches tall. Terry Hollands once more. And he finished in 8th place after Fingal's fingers. Very disappointed, must come back here. Derek Poundstone, the runner-up to Mariusz Pudzianowski in the final in 2008. Zydrunas Savickas has got to be one of the favourites to take this event. And a real dark horse is Brian Shaw. Always wears that mouth guard when he's taking part in strongmen events. Mariusz Pudzianowski's time 25.05 and Laurent Charlet's time 33.54. Right in the middle, Savickas gets away well.
Well, it was Poundstone who was up first, but I think Hollands is in the lead here. Savickas, though, coming back. This is going to be very close, Paul.
Well, Hollands gets away. Poundstone is struggling. Savickas coming on strong. Now, come on, Terry. Grit your teeth. Hollands is going well, but goes down. Poundstone coming through. Wow, what a finish. Poundstone finishes now. And Terry Hollands could finish in a moment. Savickas finishes. Oh, my goodness. It all went wrong for Terry Hollands on the far side in the last couple of meters.
Well, he's looking at his hands there. How about Brian Shaw? He's meant to have one of the best grips in the world. He had real problems there. These are very thin handles, and for big men, I think they're almost too thin. Look at Hollands, he's looking at his hands. Looks like he's cut them up. That's not the way you want to start the World's Strongest Man finals.
Well, we're still waiting for one man to cross the line, and I'm sure the inquest into that event will go on for some time. The American has finished. So the jury is out on whether Terry Hollands is going to score big points here. But Derek Poundstone comes through with a very good time to finish in 2nd place. Zydrunas Savickas just faded over the last 10 meters or so. 36.20 for him. Terry Hollands, 6th place. He hasn't got off to a great start, has he? 37.13. And Brian Shaw, as Colin Bryce was saying, a big disappointment for the American, expected to do better. Dave Ostland, well, I think we know what he thinks about it. 9th place for the big Yank.
I think if this race had been 10 or 15 meters shorter, Hollands would have done a whole lot better. His grip just giving away. Look at the pain on his face. It's Pudzianowski with 25 seconds, well faster than anyone else, who wins.
Terry Hollands' fingers absolutely wrecked after that event.
Terry Hollands may be feeling the pain right now, but Mariusz Pudzianowski will be mightily relieved after that performance. The big Englishman has to settle for 6th. The major surprise, Travis Ortmeyer comes in dead last. It's the big Z still leading the way, but Poundstone and Pudzianowski are right on his shoulder. A fantastic result for Laurent Charlet, moves him into 6th alongside 2006 champion Phil Pfister. Hollands slips to 8th. Well, as I expected, this is turning into one of the hardest fought finals we've ever had, and things are about to get a lot more difficult for the athletes as we move down here to the Malta International Airport for one of the classic strongman events. Any moment now, all 10 of the athletes are going to have to pull one of those.
So a tremendous event in prospect for World's Strongest Man. We have pulled some big things over the years, but none comes any bigger than this. There's the time limit. Once more, 75 seconds. The course is 25 meters, and the plane weighs a whopping 44 tons. Well, Travis Ortmeyer lying in 8th place after 2 events. He's actually equal 8th at the moment. The American would have wanted to get off to a much smarter start. Don't worry, the plane's not going to take off, unless, of course, Travis Ortmeyer really turns on the afterburners. But away he goes. He's going to find this hard, as is everybody, Colin.
Well, I mean, it's just impossibly big, this. It's hard to imagine how a human can pull such a colossal object. But he's doing it, he's got it underway, and that's probably the most difficult part, getting it moving. Now he just has to keep the pressure on, pull with those arms, drive for the line. And you know what? This is going to be a decent time. They thought it would be about 40 seconds, the winner. And I think that's what Ortmeyer is going to do here.
Well, he's going to be close, that's for sure. The front wheels have got to go over the line. There we have it. Good time, Travis Ortmeyer, 40.53. And the lungs at this point in time must be burning. The legs will be hurting. Everything will hurt here. Good start, and he finished strongly.
Well, that was an almost picture-perfect pull from Ortmeyer. The other guys really have a tough benchmark to chase now.
Well, Brian Shaw really psyched up here, but as you can see from the lens on our camera, it is beginning to rain, and that will be a big disappointment to the remaining competitors. The grip is so important here, and this could have a major effect.
Okay, take the strain. Ready? Ready? Yes!
Well, Brian Shaw's got body weight on his side. We know he's the heaviest competitor in the entire contest. We saw that it said 385 pounds for body weight. I'm sure it's a lot higher than that, well over 400 pounds, Paul. He's a monstrous big man at 6'8", and he has very strong legs as well. Good start. This is underway, and it's moving quicker than Ortmeyer had it moving.
Well, he certainly has accelerated, that's for sure. He's got to go over the white line, but then the plane has to cross it too. He's going. He continues to motor. Those legs are working very well indeed. Watch the clock. Travis Ortmeyer's time, 40.53. I do not believe it. That is exactly the same time to exactly 1/100th of a second. My goodness.
Well, I guess the difference there was Shaw had to deal with the rain. Psychologically, he knows that it's going to be harder pulling in the rain. The shoes don't stick as much. So Brian Shaw probably did the better pull, but it's equal on time.
Well, let's catch up with some other results. Travis Ortmeyer and Brian Shaw lead with that outstanding time of 40.53. And look at Phil Pfister down in 4th place.
From Lithuania, Zydrunas Zavikas.
3 athletes to go now. The first of them, Zydrunas Zavikas, the leader after 2 events.
Okay, take the strain, Zydrunas.
Well, you'd have heard Colin Bryce say earlier that body weight is a factor here. This guy is a giant. And just look at the size of those mighty arms as well. Just leaning against the plane to get it going. Now he's got momentum. Now the hard work begins.
Well, you can hear him breathing, trying to keep oxygen into that massive body of his. After about 15 or 20 seconds, he's going to have the lactic acid kicking in. But he's got it moving now. He just has to keep the momentum going. This is going to be another time around 40 seconds, Paul. It's all very tight.
Well, that plane wheel creeping nearer and nearer the line, and the clock is ticking away still. It's going to be close. So close. Oh, just under the leading time so far. And Zavikas has just been told 40.24. This event just keeps on getting better and better all the time. I wonder if anybody can break the 40-second barrier.
Well, he did just about as much as he could there. This could well be the winning time, Paul.
Well, Zydrunas Zavikas trying to hang on to his lead. But you'd never count against Mariusz Pudzianowski. And you know, Colin, when you think about all of the great strongmen in the past, whether they're Icelandic, Swedish, Norwegian, this guy has won more titles than anybody, and that definitely does make him one of the best ever.
Oh, it's plain and simple. He's got 5 titles, more than anyone else ever, and probably in a much more competitive era as well. Listen to that guttural roar from Marius. How much does he want this?
Well, the times have been so close so far. Growling, hurting, working through the pain, and Mariusz Pudzianowski has got it all. He's got the physical equipment. He's certainly got the motivation. It's going to be close again. Watch the clock. Just over 40 seconds, dips under 41. My goodness, it's close again. Mariusz Pudzianowski, 40.91. But that is only good enough for 4th place. Such is the standard that has been set.
Well, what's the difference between him and Zavickas? It can't be more than 2 inches, 3 inches in the pulling power there. Amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Dartford, England, Terry Hollands!
What a moment for Terry Hollands. And the most important thing for him now is to finish and finish fast, because tied for 8th place is not good enough. He was, of course, a finalist last year. Uses his immense body weight just to get this thing rolling down the runway, and Terry Hollands now has to really turn on the juice.
Let's not forget, Paul, he was the best truck puller of all 30 athletes in the heats. Terry Hollands loves this event. He's got that perfect combination of body weight and colossal leg and arm power. He's a real athlete, Hollands. He really can shift.
Well, if anybody wants to win this, they've got to get as close to 40 seconds as possible. And Hollands is sprinting away. It's going to be close. This is fast. It's victory for England. Terry Hollands does it. He's going to find out in a moment. He wants to know the time desperately. There it is. 38.19. Words fail me. That was brilliant.
Paulie really needed this win. If he stands any chance of getting on the podium or winning this event, the comeback had to start now.
Terry Hollands, the only man to break 40 seconds, proving that he definitely belongs in this exalted company. 5 performances from Poundstone and Pfister are only good enough for 6th and 7th place. Zavickas is pulling away. Can he finally win this title after finishing as runner-up on 3 occasions? Travis Ortmeyer and Dave Osland are not living up to their billings at the moment. Their hopes of a top 5 finish are fading fast. But Hollands has struck a blow here in Malta. Will it be enough to trouble the 3 favourites? Welcome back to the final of World's Strongest Man 2009 from the crystal clear coastline of Malta. We've had some fantastic action since you've been away in the overhead lift. Brian Shaw managed a very respectable 6 reps with this extremely awkward bar. His compatriot Travis Ortmeyer went 1 better. Reigning champion Mariusz Pudzianowski then upped the ante. He tied for 2nd place with Derek Poundstone. But once again, Zydrunas Savickas takes maximum points. The Lithuanian is beginning to look untouchable as he edges out his 2 closest rivals. Canadian Louis-Philippe Jean can be very proud of his 5 reps, but the 2 Englishmen are at the bottom of the pile. 6.5 points is the gap at the top. Can anyone catch Savickas? Hollands has slipped to the bottom half, but he has some big names to keep him company down there. Here are Zoe and Bill Kazmaier with details of the next event.
Yes, Martin, that's right. We're down here at the Blue Grotto for the boat pull. Our guys are going to have to pull this 300-kilogram boat up the 20-metre ramp in the fastest possible time. Now, bear in mind that it usually takes 5 normal-sized guys to do the job, so this is really going to hurt our athletes. How on earth are they going to feel? What pain is going to be going through their bodies, Kaz?
Zoe, their legs are going to be blasted. Their upper back is going to pump quickly. The pain's going to move down into their lower back. Their arms are going to feel like stumps. And when their hands fatigue, the rope is their only lifeline.
Sounds scary. Let's pull that boat.
I love that description by Bill Kazmaier. There's the time limit, 75 seconds once more. The course is only 20 metres, but the boat weighing 300 kilograms will just feel heavier and heavier the higher it gets. Zydrunas Savickas, the leader. He's been absolutely superb in this final so far. There are other competitors that have gone before. Travis Ortmeyer leads the way, 45.88. Lawrence Charlet there, 51.13, down in 4th place. There's the course coming up on the runners. And Zydrunas Savickas knows this event, but he's struggling at the beginning. You've got to get that rope moving quickly. You've got to use the legs, and you must use the back as well.
You know, there's two things against Savickas here. Number one is he's actually got quite small hands for a giant guy, and this is a very thick rope. The other thing is very thick midriff, very thick midsection, and he's doing really very small pulls. When you watch an Olympic rower, they do colossal long pulls. He's going for it though, isn't he, Paul? He's giving absolutely everything into this.
It really does beg a belief as to how a strongman can train for this event. But Savickas keeps on. As Bill Kazmaier said, he's going to feel absolutely blasted at the end of this. You get the feeling that the taller men will benefit here because of the longer levers, and we've got Travis Ortmeyer leading at the moment at 45 seconds, and Savickas is way, way down on that time.
Just over a minute for Savickas, and that's really thrown Marius a lifeline. Look at his pulls. They weren't more than 8-10 inches each time he went for the rope. He needs to practice this.
From Poland, the 5 times world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski!
I remember the time Marius won this event for the very first time, won the title. He was delighted. I wonder if even he dreamed he would go and win it a further 4 times. The all-time record holder for World's Strongest Man titles gets this underway. Now, is that talcum powder or is that chalk underneath his bottom? Will that make things easier for him?
It absolutely is talcum powder. Marius has thought of everything. Ever the professional, he's realised the others are sticking on that wooden board, and he's thrown a load of talc down, and it's working, Paul. Look at the length of pull he gets. Look at the legs on that man.
Well, he's just like a prime racehorse, isn't he? Bristling with muscle, as you were saying. And this is a very good time. It could be under 40 seconds. Yes, it is. Mariusz Pudzianowski shows why he is the great champion. I didn't understand a word of that, but I bet it meant, yes, I am number 1. 39.38. That is outrageous.
And you know what, Paul? He didn't expend that much energy doing it. Savickas has gone to the bank big time in that 1 and 2 second pull. Marius, he's not even out of breath.
Big Brian Shaw. Well, he's been saying for some time that this is the event for him. And of course, being 6'8", having the longest levers of anybody, he could be right. Away we go. Well, the time to beat, of course, was an outstanding one by Pudzianowski, 39.38. And this guy now going hand over hand. He's got quite an interesting technique, Colin, but it's effective.
Well, everybody else got stuck on that first pull, Paul, not Brian Shaw, so we know he must be quicker off the start. And he's only 5-6 metres from the line. This is really quick.
Well, he's not just going to win this event, he's going to blow everybody out of the water. Oh, my goodness. 32.44. That is almost 7 seconds faster than Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Well, if you're going to build a perfect athlete to pull a boat arm over arm, you'd build Brian Shaw. 6'8", long levers, incredibly strong hands and massive hands. Hands like a bunch of bananas. He's not letting go of that rope. No chance. Colossal power.
Brian, 32 seconds. Did nobody tell you this is going to be difficult? You can't be that surprised, though. You were very confident going into this event, weren't you?
Yeah, this has always been a great event for me. You know, I knew that I could put up a good time, and it's just honestly at that point in time, the pressure was on me to step up, and that's what I did. So I'm happy.
So you're in a good place right now.
I think so. I mean, I don't know what the points are after that, but definitely couldn't have hurt me. So we'll see what happens.
What a performance from Big Brian Shaw, beating the reigning champion by almost 7 seconds. Terry Hollands can be proud of his efforts. And Lawrence Shahlaei did well, but the big news is Zydrunas Savickas well down in 8th place. That means that the gap at the top has been cut to just half a point, and this competition is definitely back on. Brian Shaw's efforts move him into 3rd. Terry Hollands is within striking distance of the top half. Next up is an event he enjoys. Here are Colin and Paul.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. That's what lies in wait for the strongmen. The deadlift and 2 cars there. This is the situation so far. Terry Hollands of England leads the way on 8 repetitions. Ortmeyer is there. Shahlaei has completed 6 lifts. He's lying in 3rd place. But Brian Shaw, who did so well in that last event, he's moved up from 4th place into 3rd and could challenge. Derek Poundstone is the man who's playing catch-up now. Poundstone ideally equipped for this deadlift. Very simple mathematics. How many times can you lift the car? Away we go. And it's 8 to beat, Colin.
In this event last year, it was lighter, but Poundstone managed to draw with Pudzianowski. They both did 10 reps. So we know Poundstone has a great deadlift. But Shaw, who knows? He's improved so much since last season.
Well, how can you convert from a successful basketball player into a successful strongman? If you want to know the answer to that, you ask this fella. Derek Poundstone, the rock-solid policeman, is going well. He's on 8 lifts, needs 1 more to go into the lead. Can Shaw draw level? Shakes it up there. Shaw's got 8, but Poundstone has got 9. No more for Shaw. He's given his all, and Poundstone has as well, and he is in the lead. He wants to know how many. I can tell him it's 9. Brian Shaw currently tied for 2nd place. Still good points for the American.
Well, Poundstone did what he had to do. Take 1st place. It's heavier than last year, so I think 9 reps is very impressive. But Shaw, 8, he shouldn't be disappointed. That's a solid rep count.
The current leader, Zydrunas Savickas.
Savickas still leads, still moving towards this title of the World's Strongest Man 2009. The man up against him this time, though, is the defending champion. So much pride at stake here. He's lying in 2nd place. He's playing catch-up. You never know, Colin. It could all be on this event, let alone the event to come. This one is a crucial one. If Savickas can finish in the lead after this one, the pressure goes back to Pudzianowski.
Look at Pudzianowski again, the professional. He's put baby oil all over his legs to help that bar slip up his thighs. Never misses a trick, Marius. But it's Savickas who's just a fraction ahead here.
I'll tell you what, for my money, Savickas looks the stronger. He's ahead by 1 repetition. Closely being followed, though, by Pudzianowski. But Pudzianowski now beginning to burn calories, beginning to cramp up a little bit as well. And he's beginning to struggle.
Well, Savickas has equaled Poundstone's total. 1 more, it'll be double figures and the win.
That could be the repetition that gets him closer to the world title of World's Strongest Man. Pudzianowski has not finished, though. He gets 9. He draws level with Poundstone, and Savickas has rubbed salt in the wounds. As far as everybody else is concerned, he's moved on to 11. Savickas just making sure that Pudzianowski is not going to catch him, and I don't think there's any danger of that. The champion says no more. Savickas is the winner. And that could be a crucial result for this year's competition. Marius is beaten again.
You know, Paul, Marius could really have done with that last rep. Instead of second equal, he'd have been second on his own. 8.5 points now. He has to share second place with Poundstone. And Zavickas goes 1.5 points further into the lead.
3 times a runner-up. How does it feel right now to be on the threshold of winning that title?
I need to win this title because it was too much time second place in this competition. I must win.
Exciting times entering into the last event. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to winning ways for Zydrunas Savickas. A share of second place for Pudzianowski might not be enough. Pfister's chances of finishing in the top half look to be over after another poor performance. The lead is back to 2, and the reigning champion will be looking over his shoulder at the young American. Terry Holland's hopes of a top 5 finish remain alive with one event to go. 5 titles and arguably the greatest of all time, but is Zydrunas Savickas about to take the Dominator's crown? So it all comes down to this. Yet again, the Atlas Stones will decide who will be the world's strongest man. This has been the finest lineup we've ever had. The weights have been heavier, the times have been faster, the competition has never been tighter. Theoretically, 4 men can still win this title, but realistically it's a shootout between the big 2. Zydrunas Savickas against the 5 times champion Marius Pudzianowski. These stones will fly.
That is guaranteed. Zydrunas Savickas there has 49 points, a 2-point cushion over the defending champion. Brian Shaw's been a good competitor as well. He's currently lying in 3rd place. Derek Poundstone, though, in 4th. He has got a mountain to climb. Came here with a massive reputation, hasn't quite lived up to it. Been very impressed with Brian Shaw, and if he does finish in 3rd place, he will be delighted. There's who's gone before. Travis Ortmeyer leading the way. The Stone Man from Texas, 24.29. This is where it's at for World's Strongest Man 2009. Now, these 2 guys have got to fly. Martin Bayfield said the Stones will fly. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, in theory, both these men can still win, but truly, this is the bronze medal fight right here, and Shaw's just in the lead ahead of Poundstone.
I'll tell you what, Shaw is a name for the future. He may not win this competition this year, but he is a mighty, mighty man and finishes there. It's a good time. Poundstone smiles all over his face, but it's Brian Shaw who got the edge there. 25.62. That was class.
And you know what, Paul? That now makes 7 men having done 5 stones under 30 seconds. There is a very tight group of guys now. This makes Marius and Zavickas' battle even harder. One little slip up and you can easily lose 5 or 6 points.
It's all come to this last act by Zavickas on the left and Pudzianowski. He can smell the title, he can feel the title. But is he going to win it ahead of this guy who's won it 5 times before? Oh, it's nerve-tingling stuff here in Malta.
Ready?
This is it, Colin. The title every strongman wants to win.
Marius isn't hanging around, Paul. He was much quicker on that first stone. Oh, a slight mistake there, though. And it's neck and neck once again.
Well, Zavickas has got 3. Pudzianowski has got 3. Now Zavickas goes ahead. This last one for the title, surely. He is the world's strongest man. Wow, Pudzianowski has lost his title. Finishes in 2nd place. He cannot believe it. Equally, Zydrunas Savickas can hardly believe he will be crowned shortly as the world's strongest man. What a way to finish.
Well, Paul, very sporting from Pudzianowski. 5 times world's strongest man. Lifts the new champion's arm up. Zavickas, people have talked about him for years as potentially being the strongest man. Now he is in 2009. There's no doubt this year he is the champ.
He is the man. For the next 12 months, nobody can take this title away from him.
The Stone Man takes the win, Terry Hollands takes third, but sandwiched between them is the result that matters. Englishman Lawrence Charlet is the only man not to lift all 5 stones, but all eyes are on our champion.
So Jonas, before this, you'd already won every single strongman competition title there was to win. You've already been runner-up on numerous occasions, and now you've just won World's Strongest Man 2009. How are you feeling?
I am very happy. Finally, I won this competition. 2 times was unlucky, was second. 2004 was very close to winning, but I was injured, and now I come back after 5 years. I am very happy to win this great contest.
Has anybody ever deserved it more? What a comeback, what a champion. Pudzianowski finishes second, Shaw takes third. Hollands misses out on a top 5 finish, and Charlet avoids the wooden spoon in his first final. So high drama right to the very end here in Malta, but ultimately it's the giant Lithuanian, the Big Z, who claims the top spot on the podium. Will he be back to defend his title? Will Mariusz Pudzianowski ever regain the crown? And will the UK athletes ever mount a challenge to rival that of the Americans? There's only one way to find out. That's to join us next year. Until then, though, goodbye and congratulations to Zydrunas Savickas, World's Strongest Man 2009.
Muscles aren't available online, but you can get a little closer to your beefcake heroes by logging on to bravo.co.uk for a chance to win a World's Strongest Man bag of stuff. After the ads, though, it's Leverage.